What's up, Daily Motion, and welcome to the Review Dumpster. My name is Midnight Strike 3625, and traditionally this is a series where we dive into the quote-unquote dumpster to find some really controversial and poorly received video games and music of the rock genre, or metal. So, to get started, I am going to be reviewing what many consider to be one of the worst video games of all time, let alone on the NES. Back to the Future by AVGN's favorite company, LJN. And I say that with the utmost sarcasm because in every single one of his videos, he bashes these guys to high heaven. And of course, his review of Back to the Future is no different. There are so many different things that are missing from this. There are so many things that you are left wondering, why the fuck did they put this in a video game? For Back to the Future, no less? I mean, you're going through a series of 4 varied levels, and they're pretty much the same thing. Just, it's a top-down view, walk from one end to the other, and that would be all well and good, but the screen traverses with you, forcing you to go at a certain speed, and there are just random things out to get you. Everything in this game can kill you, practically, from falling plants to huge, demonic, mutated bees, it seems, because they're like the size of his face, or Marty's face, excuse me, and people holding window panes, just going back and forth, basically trying to get you, trying to kill you, and anything can kill you, and that wouldn't be, if that's not bad enough, you have to go around collecting clocks, walking from one side of Hill Valley in 1955 to the other, and if you don't collect enough clocks, the picture on the side will disappear, and once all of your family members are gone, you are dead anyways. So, there's a lot of different ways that you die in this game. This game right here, Back to the Future, is out to get you, and you will die at least 5 times before actually getting the hang of the game. Now, with that being said, a lot of people give this game shit for being completely different than the movie, completely contradicting everything the movie stood for, but I honestly don't see it that way. I mean, while it doesn't contain any relevant information from the movie or any sort of plot whatsoever, the gameplay is actually kind of solid. I mean, it is a pretty decent challenge, and some of the little mini-games are actually pretty fun. For one, you get to throw pies and cheeseburgers and stuff at Biff, or Bullies, as they like to call it, in the cafe. And then you get to dodge Lorraine's hearts, or your mom's hearts anyways, because in the movie, it's about his mom falling in love with him, and he doesn't want his mom to fall in love with him. He wants his mom to fall in love with his dad. Otherwise, there's going to be a huge time paradox, and he will disappear. So, basically, this kind of takes some elements from the movie, so it's not completely off. I mean, the most accurate parts of this game towards the movie are the 4 or 5 different mini games that you play. You get to be in the cafe, and then you get to go to Lorraine's, high school dance, and then you can play Johnny Be Good, and then finally you have to dodge lightning bolts with the DeLorean. So for some reason, I don't see why people are making such a big fuss over this. I mean, yes, it is a bad game. Yes, it doesn't follow the story at all, but the gameplay is solid. There's not that many glitches. The controls are fine as far as I can tell, and the slow button for the NES Advantage controller actually functions the way it's supposed to. I mean, that was a huge thing for me, is that the NES Advantage never really functioned the way it should. All it did was hit pause over and over again, but in this game, it actually slows down the action a little bit, especially in the mini games, especially in the cafe scene, and it makes it a lot easier. So, I don't get what all the fuss is about. I'm not going to sit here and defend the game and say it's gold and say it's, diamond and it's amazing, but to me, Back to the Future really isn't that bad. I mean, I would go as far as to say it's one of the better LJN games for the NES. I mean, going off into the Genesis and, maybe the sets, what was I going to say, Super Nintendo. I almost said Sega Saturn, but no, the Super Nintendo. They made a Spider-Man game that has the mob rules in 16-bit. That was pretty cool. It was kind of like, I forget what it was called, but I remember it was a red cartridge, and it was kind of sort of a beat-em-up, and they did that one pretty good. So, LJN had two good games, or two decent games. This one does not get a rating as this is the review dumpster and I don't rate video games or music that goes in the dumpster, but it's definitely not as bad as everyone says it is. And if you want to check it out, it's relatively cheap online, or you could just emulate it. I'm not really going to sway either way, so I'm sorry if you're disappointed that I'm not like raging about this game, but I honestly don't think it's that bad, or as bad as the nerd says it is, or anyone else for that matter claims. So with that, thank you very much for watching. This has been your long-awaited episode of the Review Dumpster, and I'm going to try and get these out on a more regular and consistent basis. I'm sorry this was so superly delayed. Usually it takes me about a month, but I'm going to try and kind of, fit at least one or two a month. So from now on, that will be my schedule. Hopefully I can make it. This is Midnight Strike 3625, and as always, keep calm and rock on.